The Scopes trial, sometimes referred to as the Scopes monkey trial, was a pivotal moment in the fundamentalist, modernist, controversial history of America. The trial erupted after J. Thomas Scopes, a teacher in Dayton, Tennessee, was accused of teaching evolution in the classroom. This was controversial at the time, as the law essentially required teachers to teach creationism, not evolution. Although the trial was technically about the legality of what Mr. Scopes had taught, the trial's purpose evolved and changed, and eventually became and divulged into a discussion of creationism versus evolution, and which one should be taught in the classroom. Newspapers, such as the New York Times, argued that the trial was really about fundamentalism versus modernism, or rather, about religion versus science. Lawyer heavyweights, such as Clarence Darrow and John R. Neal, were brought in to defend Scopes. Outside political heavyweights, such as William Jennings Bryan, however, were brought in to support the opposition. William Jennings Bryan was a famous political operative in his own right, and he had run 3 failed political campaigns for president previous to this time period. So he was well known to American households. His involvement helped boost the notoriety of the trial. Although Bryan was an outsider, his involvement was heralded as a crusade for the Christians defending creationism. The New York Times also discusses how there was a crowd of over 300 people just waiting to cheer him on when he arrived in Dayton. Ironically, Scopes would technically lose the trial and was fined roughly $100 for breaking the law. However, in the court of public opinion, a more important and, I will say, perhaps more heavy court in this instance, the trial was a split verdict. Evolution slowly creeped into the public school system, eventually becoming the norm as it is today. However, Christians took William Jennings Bryan's defense of creationism as a fierce example that God was with them, as well as the fact that Scopes was found guilty. There would be some good news for Christians, as after the trial, William Jennings Bryan remarked that Dayton, Tennessee would be an excellent place to put a college. Shortly after these remarks, Bryan died, sadly. However, a Christian college would eventually be erected in the city of Dayton, known as Bryan College. I personally have a connection to this college, as it is where both of my parents, several of my aunts, and my sister all attended, and where my brother-in-law currently works as a professor. This college has become a bastion of Christian and creationism worldviews and beliefs. And not only do they teach that to their students, but the whole point of the school is to encourage their students to teach that in the classroom. It is very heavily focused on churning out teachers for the classroom. This college, much like Liberty University, fiercely protects creationism in the classroom. Despite the advances of both sides in this debate, neither came out of the Scopes monkey trial with a clear victory in the court of public opinion. In fact, many newspapers around the world, such as the London Star, actively mocked the worldviews presented by William Jennings Bryan and his legal team. But what can be known is that fundamentalists like William Jennings Bryan have held their own in American life, as have the modernists such as Darrow and Scopes. The argument over fundamentalism versus modernism is far from over.